rise with me. We have with us tonight Tim Baldwin. He's the new pastor at Byron Christian Church. He's new to the community, and if you wouldn't mind, please lead us in our invocation.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for another day to serve you. Lord, we come to you and we ask you for your wisdom as your guidance as we represent the city of Dry Ridge, and we continue to ask for your grace as we are your people, Lord. We pray these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everyone out tonight. Tim, I didn't want to glaze over you there, but I wanted to kind of let you open us up first. If you want to take a second, I know you were trying to introduce yourself since you're new to the community. If you want to just...
Well, yeah, I'm very new. We haven't moved here yet. We're still living in Carroll County until we find a place to live, but we had our first church service yesterday and love being called here to Dry Ridge, and we hope to do great things in ministry here. My wife and I have two sons. Ben, he works at the Kroger in Carrollton, and I have a son who's a policeman in St. Louis. And I was just named the police chaplain for the county. So hopefully we can be involved as much here as we were back in Carroll County. Thanks for welcoming me here tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Now, as always, you're welcome to stay for the entire meeting, but I understand you have another meeting tonight at 7. So
yes, I've been asked to go do the same thing at the fiscal court. So.
If you feel necessary to leave, we understand.
Okay.
All right. What's that?
Everybody's been saying that, and I was going to ask the chief if he's got any spare vests back there.
All right. Could I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Jim Hendy.
Here.
Cindy Edmondson. Marissa Hewitt. Here. Clay Carper.
Here.
Ron Maddox.
Here.
And I will mark as Sarah Clemens, absent.
You have a copy of the agenda before you. Is there anything that needs to be added to the agenda? If not, there's a motion to approve.
I'd like to
Okay.
add something to the agenda. I'd like to find out how we came out on marking the ridge on the funds and stuff like that.
Okay. I'll touch on that during the report. Anybody have anything they'd like to add? Not an entertainment motion. Motion by Kenny, second by Ron. Second. All in favor? All right, motion carried. You have a copy of the minutes. I'll put them up on the screen in case you haven't looked through them. In the last council meeting. I think, Tim, you got a mistake you've already pointed out. Other changes, we can read through this, or we can entertain a motion to accept the ordinance as indicated by change.
Oh, you go down. I thought I saw my name and I didn't even see that on the email.
Your name?
Okay, never mind. That's fine.
Any other changes besides the one Joe pointed out already? Is there a second? I'll say. Second by Clay. All in favor? Unanimous. All right.
Yeah.
Any-
Yeah.
Hang on. Okay. Good. Okay. Chief Smith?
You see a little different model up there than what you've seen the last several months. We changed software companies, so it was easier to do it with the new software package we have now. So to bring it up to you that we have there, so we're used to looking at a certain spot. Everything's up there, it's just in a different structure than what it was. The main thing is, as always, total monthly responses were 141. We had 24 fire calls for the month, 2 structure fires. Our running volume for EMS is down. It's down considerably. AMR has, for the last few months, they have made it a concern that they had 2 units here during the daytime hours. 2 will come 8 to 8 during the day. Their second unit will go home or will go off duty at night. There's just 1 unit here for them. But if you look down at the other responses down into the other areas, they're considerably down from where they was at this time last year. Plus, with the urgent treatment center at Crittenden and with more stuff going on at the hospital, a lot of people, the hospitals at Grant County still seeing the same number they were seeing this time last year, maybe a little bit more, but they're noticing more people drive themselves to the hospital instead of calling us, which is good. So keeps our run volume down, keeps our trucks not on the road as much, so that helps out. We have seen our overdose level decline quite a bit. Last month we picked back up, and we were 7 last month. Then were confirmed overdoses. There's a few others that we probably a good possibility that they were, but at least 7 confirmed for the month. We had been down to I think 3 the month before, and I think 2 or 3 months before that. But they come back up now, so you've probably seen them on the Cincinnati news. If you watch Lex News, either one of them. They've had a rash of them here over the last week or so. So we're in that circuit. So if you watch Louisville News too, you'll also see the numbers increase. Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville, Maysville is the loop we're in. So when we see the problem with us, when we see it at Cincinnati, Maysville, and Lexington, it's going to hit us. When we see it at Cincinnati, Louisville, Lexington, it's going to hit us. So we don't ever get out of it. We're always in that same triangle. So when we see them areas increase, we also increase. Any questions?
I got one about AMR.
Okay.
If they go to respond, do they have to go to Grant County Hospital?
No, sir. No. The way the license is, that it's a whole licensing issue. When we get caught with our license is, if we have 1 paramedic in the county, we cannot go to any other hospital except Grant County. Okay? Technically, if they're the only paramedic in the county, they can't go anywhere except Grant County. But a lot of times they'll go north or south. because they just kind of don't pay attention to that rule, okay, for lack of a better word. We do very few transports out of the hospital, out of Grant County, for that reason. Because a lot of days we only have one paramedic assigned, like today there's only one medic here. If 1,100 units are out of the county, then we pretty much have to go to Grant County Hospital with our patient. Because we're covering the whole county with our, we can't take our resources out of county.
So it doesn't matter what kind of condition the person's in, they still go to Grant County?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Well, to me, that seems wrong.
Well, they're a higher level of care. As long as we take them to a higher level of care.
Well, that could be life or death.
It could be, I agree, sir. I agree with you 100%. But that's the way it is. We have to take them to the closest level of care that is greater than ours. So, with having paramedics on the truck, we're fortunate with that, because they can do a whole lot of stuff on the truck. They can do a whole lot of stuff that the hospital can do before they get to the hospital. But, you know, the doctors at the hospital can go deeper, you know what I mean? And I'll just tell you straight up, we will transport people to Grant County Hospital that need to go somewhere else. But unfortunately, that's the circumstances we can't. Right now, at this very moment, we have one medic in the county, and he is back here at this firehouse. If somebody's having a heart attack and needs to go to Edgewood to the cath lab, he's going to take that person to Grant County Hospital. But that's the way it is. That's just, I know it don't seem right, but
No, it don't seem right to me.
that's the way the rules are. And, if my medic was to take that person to Edgewood, being the only medic in the county, then the state could come in and take our license away from us. And it'd be completely out of business. And or fine us a huge penalty. So, I mean, there's a lot of repercussion by.
All it does is create more expense for the person.
I agree. It does. And you know, if they decide to fly them out, that's a $20,000 bill.
Right.
You know, it goes in the left pocket, so, yeah, everything comes down to dollars and cents, and,
Was there any way to rectify that?
no, not really. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, only rectifiers have more medics on duty, that way you could put more trucks on duty, have more medics on duty, that way you could be able to say, hey, you know.
But you still have to go to Grant County.
No, if we have more medics on
You
duty. We have to have more medics. We have the trucks, we have the capabilities. Like the non-medic leaves right now, there are EMTs here that can get on the truck. Okay, but they can't, they're not the level of care that he is. Okay? That's why we don't transport out of hospitals very seldom. A lot of times when we transport out of hospitals, we will say we have a crew available, we have a truck available, but we don't have a medic. If you will give us a nurse, then you know, we'll go north to where we need to go.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief. Chief Kells?
Okay, from the board, you have the police report for July. I just want you to take note on that parking complaint. We had that one issue that we're going to have to address sooner or later. Myself and the mayor have talked about it, but I don't know what direction we're going to go yet.
North Main Street?
Yes, sir.
That's the parking on North Main Street. I didn't have enough time to get all the materials ready for this meeting. We'll have to next meeting. All of that. But that's the parking in front of the Wave Tech and A Plus on A Plus and the Pine. And I guess in front of 31 North Main Street too.
All right.
Also.
We tried to handle it civilly, but I don't think we're getting much operation.
Anybody have any questions? Robbie?
You should have the results there of the last test for last month, which everything come back good. Stage 2 will be this month, my stage 2 testing, which is quarterly. And then talk to the people with the valves and stuff. It's still 4 to 6 weeks out, but it'll be quite a bit ahead of what Kim's doing. And I think you got more for me later, some other time. Or you want to talk about it now, about the
No, about the
lids.
the lids. You go ahead and talk about that.
Well, the radio reads, we've had several where people's been mowing on them and destroying them, and they're getting quite expensive. We're probably going to have to come up with a way to get them paid for, because I think just the lid itself, what you see on top of your meter, they're $28 a piece. And people out there mowing them, or just like when they're in lots and stuff, a tire, if you turn on top of it, snaps them right off. And then there's others, sometimes there's one out on L&K, the guy hit it with his mower. Well, it flipped everything up, cut on the battery. The battery's still working, which that's the complete radio read. And then the housing for it broke it and ripped the wires out of the meter. That was just one case of what happens. I know we talked about maybe giving them a break when we first started, but I don't think we can, because it's piling up on us pretty good. I have to get some ordered. I think I had 25 in stock, and I'm down to a handful now.
Did we discuss this when they first came out?
We did.
We did.
But we never came to an agreement on whether or not we wanted to bill. We were going to give them the first free bill, or
Did we put something on the bill with an explanation?
We sent out telling people to make sure you don't run over. We did that in the newsletter when all those went out. And then we were trying to keep track of some of them, for the ones that were run over that we were given, what we knew about. But we never did say that there were, in the newsletter, we said there could be a charge. We never set anything, or said, yes, this is what we're going to charge, or how we're going to do it. Is there any like repeat offenders on the games? Is there one that
Yes.
constantly?
Yes.
Is there several like that, or just one?
There is a couple that several like it, and it's basically, it's nothing they're doing, it's the customer that's leaving, and it's in a lot, and when they get ran over, they get broke, especially when someone turns on.
Is that a restaurant?
No. But just to give you an idea, like the lid that I was talking about, they're $28. The assembly itself is $40. The single units, that's just got like a single household on them, for the radio read itself, is $145. And the dual port, like up in Brentwood, you see a lot. Got two houses coming together. They are $190. But we're gonna have to do something about it, because we can't afford to keep paying for them and then put them on. Yes.
I know my house,
Yeah.
it's raised.
Mhm.
You gotta try to run over that thing. Is there any way, I mean, I know we can't do it in the park,
Yeah.
but is that an option for a resident?
It's an option, but that's just what happened on L&K. It is raised.
Oh, okay. never mind.
So, I mean, it
yeah, I actually heard it when he hit it. It shut his lawnmower down. He hit it.
I mean, it's just the owners have got to pay a little bit of attention. It's,
Maybe we need to send another letter out and say, all right, we talked about this once.
Well, I think that's why I wanted to bring it up, is to
Yeah.
see whether or not you wanted to, do that. But most importantly, if you wanted to charge the customer the replacement cost. We're not talking about making any money on it, just charging whatever our cost is to replace it.
One thing you have to look at it, somebody has, the homeowner has to mail a small bill.
It happens.
Charge the homeowner or the...
Well, the homeowner's the only one we can really charge, because that's the only one we know to bill. But I think it happens sometime in the winter, when it's snow plows as well.
that's more the restaurants and other places that gets snow plowed in also. It's a continuous thing. I mean, we got to do something about it. That's about as simple as I can put it. Because the cheapest part of it is $28. And like I said, I went through 25 pretty quickly.
If you want, you can do that. We can send another, or a notice out, a newsletter, or just send a notice out, just noticing them what the price is. I hate to tie it to the ordinance, because that price changes.
Even if we put it
Price changes.
with the water bill, kind of do like a highlighted section of it maybe, I don't know.
There's only so much text you can put on it that we can
Yeah.
send something else with it.
Okay.
There will be a letter going in regards to what the rates are, you know, subject to criteria, whatever, but I don't know. We'll get something.
Either that, or we just continue to ignore it. We just want to see which way we're going. Because I know we talked about it once before, but we never made a final decision on it, so I didn't know anything about coming back to council first, so. On that. So what's, you want to bring this up later? You want to get those prices and look at that for the next meeting? How do you want to?
Well, it'd be something for those repeat offenders. Repeat probably have, I mean, I think quickly a letter ought to go out. But yeah, if you're gonna do a couple, you ought to continue to do all.
Do I give a mulligan, so to speak, on the first?
I mean, one time, yeah, accident.
Well, I don't think anybody's going out there and
No.
deliberately
Right.
damaging any.
Well, I think something in the newsletter, I don't think maybe charge right now, but, you know, give them another warning, because, you know, that was a long time ago.
Okay. Well, we can do that, we can incorporate that into the next newsletter if that's what you all want to do.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's up to you all. I don't think we can absorb it. That's just my opinion. I think we gotta start charging. It's just,
What's what I mean?
I understand that
Send out the
accidents
letter.
happen, I'm just saying that we can't get stuck paying the bill for everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying, send out a bill saying.
Send out a bill saying you're gonna start getting charged.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yes. So that's what I meant to say.
Okay.
I told the guy that mowed my yard, I said, here this is, if you hit it, it's gonna cost you, because I'm not paying for it, because you're mowing the yard. So watch where it's at. I gave you warning.
Right, so, we'll put together the price list. I'll send that by email, so you have it in advance. But then we'll include that in the next newsletter. All right, anything else for water? Thank you, Robert.
That don't affect the reading method. I mean, as far as the,
Doesn't affect the meter, but it will not radio read. I have to manually get out and get them.
Ken?
Well, there's our numbers for July. We had 2 other complaints, one out at the mall. They've raised their vent stacks up above their air conditioners, and it's helping considerably with that problem they were having at the mall. Had one complaint down on Church Street. That seemed to, wasn't there when I went down there, so it's just one of them come and go things when the force main kicks on from up north, but didn't smell it when I went down there.
It did?
No, I didn't smell it when I went down there. It kind of comes and goes down through there, but depending on which way the wind's blowing out of Meadowview. But got about 7 hours in on a study that we're doing up through the line that tied into Judy's home through there. We found some problems that are going to have to be addressed that are taking on water when it rains heavy. And I'll have those for you probably in next month's meeting, and we can take a look at where we want to go direction on that. Maintenance on Judith and Ralph was completed. Barry went down with me and assisted me. We also did the maintenance over on Church Street. We jetted that line that Judy's on over there, and it was pretty clean, but we jetted it anyway, and that's been completed. About 6 million gallons last month, about 197 average.
All right, you have any questions? All right, Ken, I think you had a report in here
too from the high school.
Yeah, that's a report going to Williamstown. Everything's in compliance there. Pretty good report.
Anything else? All right, Larry?
Well, fixed this current storm drain out here. Of course, I didn't see the pictures before, and it was pretty much, it fell apart in front of the firehouse. Oh, you got pictures. Somebody did. But, really, that whole frame needed to be ripped out. The whole thing needed to be replaced, but, for now, we got it supported up and poured concrete around it. That's probably about the 5th or 6th one I've done. Brentwood's had a couple, but everything that fell down inside of it that was supporting it up. And basically, all they have to send the blocks underneath the frame of the storm drain, whenever that was put in. So, it is fixed now. And they've been cutting tree limbs for the school buses. They're nice. There's a lot of overgrowth on the roads, some of the streets around here. They've cut a lot of tree limbs before the buses complained about it. And I think Hank actually sent Scott Ship an email asking him if there was anything else, but Scott never did reply. So I'm just kind of taking it upon myself to cut the ones I think are going to hit. So I'm sure I'm probably going to miss one somewhere.
Any questions for Larry?
Is there any way we can get the, Admiral Ferguson to keep the street halfway swept off? With new construction?
Contractor should be responsible.
We're not doing nothing. There's mud everywhere, and there's still big chunks of rock laying on the road. Look that rock up the way it runs. I've never seen them sweep anything.
They haven't.
I know they have. I don't know why they can't put a sweeper on the front of the Bobcat every day and just.
I can tell, I'd say something to him tomorrow. Talk to Mark Weigel.
Because it's a mess. Even when it rains a little bit, the road is nothing but that.
I mean, because we can't take the Bobcat down there and scrape the road. It needs to be swept.
That's right, a sweeper on it, with the brushes on the front or something.
I'll talk to Mark Weigel tomorrow about
I
that.
mean, the rock and all is still laying out the road, it looks terrible. I ain't worried about the street that Daniel's way there, I'm not worried about that yet, because you can't.
Well, eventually it's going to get worse because, I mean, once you start getting big construction equipment running in and out of there, it's going to get worse. But I'll talk to Mark Weigel tomorrow about it.
I think they poured the footers last week,
Yeah.
Footers are full.
so
They're still working on storm drain right now.
and then they'll start cleaning on that. So should start to see the skeleton go up in the next couple of weeks. For that project. Okay, anything else? All right, in parks, there's, one of the football teams is using Fiddle as a backup, only if they need to. They can't get on the middle school field or the practice field. That's the only thing that's really using the park right now. All the softball teams are done with their seasons. As far as,
Supposed to be a clinic down Saturday, isn't it?
Last week while you was gone, I've got a clinic for this weekend and the 25th. It'll be the Saturday from 10 to 2. They've got some flowers down there, and actually I'm supposed to get with him because he's supposed to bring him a machine to help with the field down there, level it up better than what I can do with the tractor. I'll get in touch with him, but there is this weekend and the 25th. We got it on the calendar.
good, I wasn't aware of those, so. I've been out of town for the last 10 days or so, I haven't got a chance to see everything and get completely caught up on everything. With that being said, as far as to answer your question about Rock and Ridge, I don't have those numbers with me tonight, but the rough numbers are about 35,000 that we took in on vendors' fees and sponsorships and things. Of course, we had $50,000 for the artist and entertainment, and then the fireworks show on top of that. So, last year I think our attendance was just short of 10,000. This year's attendance was about 12,000, based on based on the pictures and the crowd size and everything else, and the vendors, that metric that we've been using. So that's going to put us somewhere in the range of about $25,000 that we were off this year. I think last year we were about $10,000 or $15,000 more than that. So we're continuing to get that down to a neutral or profitable level.
Well, I sort of like to see it more detailed because, I got all these people that paid for security and entertainment and arts rental, the Gallatin Goose, tractor supply, I guess for the fences, the sweepers, the stage, the fireworks, plus, not to mention the bathroom. I think we've lost quite a bit more than $25,000.
I think when we look at everything, when everything washes out, we're still in that range, that $25,000, $30,000 range. But I don't have that with me, so I'm just, like I said, I'm just off the top of my head, numbers trying to answer your question a little bit. But I don't think that anybody loses, because there were definitely 12,000 people or so that came to that, that had a good time with the thing. There's a lot of people that new to the community. We don't have that many people that live in this community, so they know they were coming from somewhere else. So it's always a good opportunity when you can bring new people to the community and let them see what we have to offer here. So
I still think that, I'm glad you brought that up, but I still think the citizens need to know how much, we lost in that, because I'm telling you, I don't think 75,000. We spent 45 just on Gretchen Wilson. Plus what, 53 on Naked Party Girls? We spent at least 55, 60 just on entertainment. So if you got, just to say 55, that doesn't work. You got 10,000 for fireworks, that's 65. And then the stage, that's 8. That's what's spent, is there any way we can get a detailed line item figure of how much exactly we lost?
well, absolutely. He just asked me 10 minutes ago to give him an update. I haven't been here, so I don't have anything.
No, I'm just saying, I would like, I would like to do one.
Well, you have them. I mean, you're getting the information and financials. But yes, we'll put something more definitive together for you.
Was the cost of the parking spots over there, was that included in?
Parking spots. What are you talking about?
Well, I thought, if I'm not mistaken, if something was missing about 12 parking spots over here by Fiddle Park, and they started doing that construction?
No.
No?
No, that's
Well,
not.
what was all the construction done for that one?
The construction was for the additional parking, but it didn't have anything to do with the event. I mean, we just utilized that space.
Did the cost ever come in on that?
Yes, and that's been presented.
That's another good question. Because, no, I'm sorry, but, you said that those were parking places. For one, I don't see any lines there to make them parking places.
It's my fault, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, my question is, because it says right here, you know, that Gretchen Wilson wanted a parking spot so she can park her buses. Is that what that was for?
I'm sorry?
It said-
Spots were decided a long time before Gretchen Wilson
Well, I don't ever remember discussing it. Does anybody else remember discussing parking spots?
Okay, parking spots for the buses, is that what we're talking about now? Parking
No,
spots
no,
for
we
the
were
buses.
discussing how much Rockland Ridge was.
Well, you're talking about buses parking spots.
No, I'm just asking a question.
I'm
here.
trying to tell you an answer if you will let me. Those bus parking spots have always been primarily around this facility right here. This is where we've always designed that. This year, Gretchen's stage manager, tour manager, decided that he would like, since we had the space down there, to put the bus closer to the stage, because we had the space. Last year, it wasn't an option, we didn't have the space. But, or if you're asking me to make a correlation, was money spent to fill the parking spaces so the tour buses could be down there? That's the chicken and the egg. The tour manager decided the day of to put the tour bus down there because we had the extra spaces.
I'm just asking a question.
All right, moving along. Brent?
Building inspector's report from the county. There was 5 in the city. I believe 3 of them were for tents. 2 for George Auto and 1 for Tabernacle Baptist for an event they had on tap. The other was for Wendy's remodel. On the second page of the other one was for Metaview for them to start working on the renovation from the fire. Also, at the end of last month, Terry Conrad retired, and the county has hired Tony Ashcraft to take over building inspection for the county. I believe it's full-time. With the addition of Gilbert McClure, I think, signing off on reviews.
Any questions?
Next I've got just my activities and hours. I think I've plugged there, 100 and, not sure where it's bottom, 133. Some stuff wasn't, some stuff was. Next one was violations fixed, tall grass, business license, and the sign.
Speaking of tall grass, what about across the street?
Which
We
one?
mowed everything but the bank.
28 or whatever it is.
The one next door,
I think
used to be the old flower shop, the one next door to the,
it's 28 Broadway.
yeah.
Yeah. I've got to give it to him anyway, so I'll send him something. I saw it the other day, I was hoping he'd get it this weekend.
Okay.
But other than that, there's some more I've sent out. Still haven't got done yet. I already got the contractor to take care of. One on Warsaw Avenue. I knew one on PD Street. I'm not sure what's the third. Next is a new little thing. This is what permits were issued. This is actually June's. So 4 fireworks, and 2 fence permits, and a full permit. 832 is the fees collected for it, and we break down the count and percentages. And the next one is the same but for July, which was 10 sign permits and 2 fence permits. A lot of the sign permits had to do with like Wendy's remodeling and some of the different ones like that.
When they gonna be done?
I'm not sure. I know their drive-throughs are still open. They're still operating the
One
drive-through.
day,
Well,
because they dug it all out today.
okay, well, I knew that, and then I knew when they stopped up here asking about bringing a food truck of theirs up here to keep going, but I'm not for sure. Think that's it. Any questions?
All right, nothing new. We do have the Mexican restaurant on Blackburn is open. We've got their ABC license in. The state sent it back today for me for some additional information, so I sent that back to them. Once I get that completed application back, I'll put that up on the website for the ABC. But they should have their alcohol license within the next few days, I would hope. 2 days is all it takes. they're getting ready, the railroad is getting ready to do, some upgrades. It's called the Rail Safe, or Road Safe Traffic System Railroad thing. I think the Road Safe is the company that does it for them, but they've announced some railroad closings. I just kinda wanted to let
They
you
started
know.
today, actually.
Connector Road.
Connector Road, the North Coast closed today.
Yeah, so, they will be closing the ones in the city at the connector. They're across from Gold Star Chili and that, so that one will be coming up. Well, that's odd because they, in this notice that they sent me, they're not supposed to start on this until the 15th.
Until the 15th, I saw that.
I can't let the people know they don't start.
They called me this morning at 8 o'clock, one of the truck was closed about noon, and they opened it back up and they shut down Connector Road. They never called me to tell me it was back open, but.
Well, let me rephrase this. If you saw the railroad crossings closed today, this is the reason why, so. But anyway, there's the profit and losses for the general utility of road aid, you can go through those if you want to. Williamstown Senior Center, their August calendar, they just wanted to pass this calendar along so they knew of the activities that they had planned at the Senior Center, which is inside the city building in Williamstown. But I asked her, or she asked me if I would just pass this along again. Senior Bash is scheduled for September 20th. Senior Bash is moved this year from the Grant County Park in Crittenden. It will be held at the fairgrounds this year. Of course, we don't have anything to do with that. We do help support it. We gave them some gift cards today to support that. There is a letter in here from the fiscal court. But that's always a good turnout, and I'm happy that we can support the annual event now that it's back. I think it went on hiatus last year, but it's back. Quarterly, I send out the North Kentucky Area Development quarterly reports. They'll send them in to me. I usually attach them for each of one report for each of the 8 counties in North Kentucky. Kind of interesting to look at those, give you some statistics about each one of those, and then there's a summary report as we won't go into. In old business, item number 1, Brent, I'm going to let you talk about this because this is the old Public Works building. I don't think I can spot these.
Yeah, you'll see, if you go to the, well, 2 more pictures of this first one. What day was it, Tuesday, Robbie, it rained? Someday last week, Robbie went to move some stuff in the building so he could work on something in the new building. And he walked in and saw a part of the roof that collapsed in where it had been raining. And it's pulled and it's exposed. Looking up through there, you can see daylight when it goes through. It's got electric wires up there, but that's just from inside that I can see. And then we were able to get some pictures from outside of what was on the roof, and come to find out an actual panel was missing from the roof. I'm not exactly sure how long it's been like that, but that's all I see.
You guys have any idea how long that panel's been off, or what happened to it?
No.
No, I have no idea.
It's been up there for a while.
It's been raining,
Fix that, didn't it? I got a chance today to take a tour with Rob and Barry, and Brent, taking a tour of this building, and just kind of looking at it. For those of you who haven't been in this building in quite a while, it's in pretty bad shape. It was the original maintenance building before the great building was built around 2002, 2003, Ken?
Two.
But it was the original building, this red section in the front was. The back end of it were built on later. One of the very middle of the building houses the salt bin, and the salt in itself is very corrosive, and it's done a number on the building itself. All the metal is pretty well destroyed. There's not much left of it. So I've asked the guys, and they've done a really good job of getting everything that's necessary out of the building and over into the gray building. And they divided the basement section up into the water section, the streets and roads section where the signs and stuff are, and then kind of a storage, a water and a sewer area, and then kind of a storage for like the pumps and all of their equipment that they have to have. The biggest problem with this building is that the back end, the very back end, there's not a good picture of it here, but the very back end is open. It's just a lean-to. So it's completely open to the public, which I asked for that to get cleaned up, and they have since taken everything out of there. There's salvaged and scrapped most everything that was not usable. There was some old pieces, some old fire hydrants that didn't work, just things like that. My biggest fear was the kids getting in there and playing around and getting hurt. So they cleaned that up. The side of this building, if you go back there and get a chance to take a look at it, is two big sliding doors that are not operational. The salt has done a number on the doors, the hinges, the sliding mechanisms, the doors. So it's completely open to the public. There's straw, store sand in there, with a lot of other materials. I'm not sure what you want to do with this structure. Obviously, this panel has gone unnoticed for long enough until the ceiling collapsed. It started to collapse in on it. So this is like firehouse building. It's the question of how much money do you put into rehabbing the building when the problem is more expensive than the building cost. And that's why I'm kind of bringing it up to you tonight. Brent brought this to my attention when I got back this morning. After the ceiling, I guess it worked its way down.
I was gonna say, I found out today, Barry was telling me apparently half the lights in the building itself don't even work. When you go over and open the garage door, you have what, 2 single lights that work?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even sure if the electric over there works in all of it.
So really kind of bring this up to see what your thoughts are. Most of the valuable stock is out of the building. There's very limited, there's very little stuff that's in it other than the jetting truck that's stored in that building. Just to the right in that picture of where that ceiling is collapsed, where the jetting truck is stored. The only other real major stuff in there is the salt and then some straw and sand that's stored inside in the back part of it. But I'm not really sure what you want to do with this building. So I just kind of wanted to bring it up and get some feedback from you before we do anything to this building. I don't hate to put any money into fixing this. This obviously needs some pretty severe roof work. It's several $1,000s to do that. The metal work, electrical work. I just don't know what we want to do in this structure.
Well, the roof inside of it's plywood, so it's been leaking long enough where the plywood shot. We're gonna end up having to re-roof it one way or another, probably with trusting it. The question is it salvageable? I walked around the building, it's 38 upper dollar, it's probably 6 to 8 inches off the ground. So, if you're going to repair this building, it's going to be basically a redo. And basically rebuild it.
If you're gonna repair the building to a good state, it's gonna cost some money to do that. I mean, we can look at other options if you want to on this. I think the biggest problem with this building is the fact that the salt bin was located right in the very center of this building, and it's open to both ends. You completely walk right through the salt room to get from one end to the other. So it's allowed the corrosiveness of the salt to deteriorate the whole building.
Does the city have anywhere else that puts salt?
Well, the only other option would be if you,
Like do a, I was thinking like a closed pump station that you could get to.
I don't think there's any other places. The best thing to do with the salt would be to keep it away from anything. For the longest time, they stored the tractors and Bobcats in that building. And that's why that Massey Ferguson basically rusted itself to death. Same with the Bobcat. It had a lot of rust on it. Of course, the Bobcat is used to load the salt and stuff in the trucks in the winter, but you could put a salt pile to the back end of that building. If you were to say you were to take that building down, you could build just a salt, like a salt dome at the end of the concrete. That would separate it from everything else. I just know we have a problem in this building. I just want to address it with you first before we start spending a bunch of money to fix it or to take the building down. You guys got any thoughts on it?
I'd like to go through it.
It's out there. It's open. You can go through it 24/7. You can't close it.
Is there any fence or anything around it? Wow.
Liability issue.
Yeah. That's my big concern.
Mayor, you want to take everybody out there?
Take a field trip if you want to go through it. You want to do that, Crystal?
Let's wait till the end. Yeah, I don't mind doing it. I mean, I don't mind if you want to go out there now, but I'm just, unless everybody else wants to go.
I call Greg, maybe we can be up here with the little.
Well, we can walk. All right,
I don't
well,
mind.
then we'll move that to the end, then we'll come back to this. Is that all right? Okay. All right, new business, item number 1, sewer rates that we talked about last week, or at the last meeting rather. I gave each of you a copy of this. It's a single-page document. City attorney put a lot of work into compiling this into a single-page document with all the supporting stuff. So this is basically what that is. It's let you explain what you've written here.
I can. Well, I'm not completely, I'm not sure if the city's decided how they want to approach this. The simplest way, although maybe not the best way, is what I kind of put together for the meeting tonight, which was a kind of a synopsis of, and really, to a certain extent, kind of an index of all the ordinances since 1977 regarding the sewer system. And as you can see there, first thing we did was list all the ones that have been superseded by our later ordinances that are no longer in effect. And that, as you see, was quite a few, which are how many there are there. But then there are a lot of ordinances in the section below that, which is call it B, and probably typos and stuff that are right at this point. That maybe just address some specific things, such as infiltration, topic we've had recently, capacity, development speeds. You guys can see, these were ordinances that pretty much addressed one specific issue. There was about 9 or 10, it looks like, of those. And then, as far as just the general ordinance for the system itself, actually went back all the way to 86. And I listed that in C, that was 408, 1986. I'm not sure, and I don't know, this group, we're sure how much of that is still accurate or what we're actually doing. As a matter of fact, I know that Amy had to do a little research to even find the entire ordinance which she's since got and put up on the website, which, I'll be honest, I haven't seen all of it yet. We had been finding it. So basically what I did was say, all right, here are the ordinances that are on, that have been superseded. Here's some bullet point ordinances out there that from what I can tell, are still good, that are limited, and then, okay, the main ordinance is down 108, under C, and then I kind of took, I know that one reason we're looking at this now, to try to clean up some confusion, was the adjustment on the rate going forward, and then so I put that as D, which is my understanding that 757 is the last one. Could be incorrect on that, but they just use the same format to put up the new fee structure, and it was like tweaked a little bit. So, and I had blanks because I didn't know what the rates were on. So, my thinking was this would be a way to do this. You could just look and see, okay, well, these ordinances, don't bother with them. Go to these ordinances if you've got a specific question, and then if you don't see anything on point, then back to 408 would be the main ordinance for the system. Or the other alternative, and I think it's, what did you tell me, 47 pages?
47.
Yeah, 408, again, kind of the base document, source document for the system, which is 47 pages. We go back through and, amend and modify 408 and incorporate some of these points after that, have it all in one current, up-to-date place. And certainly that would have the benefit of having, one ordinance that kind of governed everything. So for tonight's purposes, this is kind of what I was able to put together. And obviously if we do that, we need input from people who know whether or not these things still actually are done that way or not done that way. What the language needs to be changed. I'm guessing some of it does, since it's 30 years old. So I'm not saying that we need to go with this. You guys may decide that no, we just need to, whatever it takes. If 47 pager becomes 67 pages, then it gets us all current in one place, then that's what we want to do, then that's fine.
So basically what you've done, you incorporated two things. Kind of a cleanup of repealing all the ordinances that have been superseded through time by other ordinances, and then added the updated fee structure.
I tried to index kind of the ones that were still good, list the ones that were gone, and then right with the updated fee structure.
So what say you, council? Would you rather go back to 408, 1986 and just rewrite that document? It's already 47 pages. Rewrite it, repeal all of those ones before it, include everything into one document, and it might be a pretty lengthy document. That's kind of the alternative. But one way or the other, at some point, we do have to address what would be listed on here is section D, because of the increase that I showed you at the last meeting that Queenstown was passed along, 5% increase. on our sewer rate for processing.
All right, Keith. At some point in time, do we need to go ahead and make one inclusive ordinance for sewer? I understand we're gonna have to do something for the rate change, but, and I'm not talking, because that's a huge topic. But at some point in the near future, we need to address for it, correct?
You're both right. I guess my biggest concern is how much of that stuff is still valid.
Correct.
My guess is a lot of it is not done that way. It doesn't represent our current practice. So now, if those who understand all this stuff looked at it and went, actually, that's pretty close to how it is, tweak it a little bit, but then I don't know if we go and redo everything. But my guess would be there's quite a bit in there that's really, really dated. And if we're having to go and clean up the dated stuff, then how do we get that done? We may not be that far off, and just being able to add in those, again, those, say for instance, those 10 ordinances that appear to still be out there and we're living under, then it may not be that much to add a few more sections and the rest of that. So I guess to me, and the other people that was there, the first question is how much of that 408 is still valid?
Okay, your opinion. Council? Do you think we can do that in one? Because that's when we're gonna have to, because we'll have to have 2 readings.
Can I do it? Yes. I mean, I'll find a way to do it, but I'm not educated. But I've got to have it done.
That's what you're stuttering.
Well, you're talking about committing other people.
I agree. That's what I'm asking.
Right.
So I can have that kind of time, or do we need to have more time to work through this and do it correct?
Considering other than the rate increase, nothing else seems to be urgent as far as I'm aware, then I don't know how much work effort that we're talking about putting on other people. I mean, because once I sit down and kind of gather this, I can put this together probably fairly easily, but I have no idea what this means for other people.
But this ordinance would basically encompass what we need to be ready for the rate increase and then we could work on the specifics of 408 and later, and take time.
But if he says he can get it done in a month, why not want to do it?
Well, again, it's not me getting it done.
It's the people you're talking to.
The people that, I can sit here and read this stuff, but a lot of this stuff doesn't mean anything because I don't know anything about the sewer system. I know very little. I mean, I need the people that actually work with it that is going to say, the mayor or council saying, no, this is all, these numbers are old, or the requirements changed to this, or, that's sort of input I need, so I'm just don't know what I have.
Well, here's the recommendation. If you're even considering, council, if you're considering a rewrite of 408, probably wouldn't accept this as it's written. I would probably only accept this as an ordinance just to modify the rate structure for now, and then come back with an all-inclusive 408 instead of doing this, because this would be like repealing a whole bunch of things and leaving them in place. Well, I guess you could leave this.
Well,
leave this in place.
The mayor actually wasn't repealing anything. I was just listing all those things that had previously been repealed so that you had a list in one place of ordinances that were no longer in effect. I was just trying, A and B were to help clarify, index what's still out there and what's not. So again, if you had a question, about when did we adopt the maintenance manual, 6/34/2003, pretty much all that ordinance is about. So that was to simplify this.
So actually this ordinance is a good step to cleaning up the whole sewer, bringing it in under one page, or one document.
Yeah, I think this, I mean, whether you adopt it or not, you have the information anyways now, at least council has the information that I think would be a good source to look stuff up and weed through these 30-some ordinances.
All right. Is this the approach you want to take to it instead of I'll call for a first reading? If not, then I'll entertain some other form change.
This is the,
Yeah, that's just a catalog. It's like the index for where all the information is about. They're all spread all over the ordinances. All these different rules of the sewer. If you really wanted to bring one together, it would be to rewrite 408 and include all those other ones that are in section 8 there that are still have relevance. But in the meantime, it lists what each of those are and then does the special rules. That clarifies it. But either way, we have to do something with the increase unless we plan on absorbing it, and I can tell you we can't absorb the cost.
so this needs to be our first reading. So, what do you want that for?
That's correct. Unless we plan on a special meeting. Yeah, I have to schedule a special council meeting to approve that and everything.
And Jimmy, if you didn't like the way I laid it out, and you could strike A and B and C for that matter, and do it, and then make this ordinance just the D part that
No,
increases the fees if you like that.
No, I'm okay with
that.
I just didn't want to have to do one twice, but you're really not doing it because you're not feeling them coming back. You're
No.
just,
That's really more reflecting what has been done, not doing anything new until you get down to.
So this is the first reading.
if this is the approach you want to take on
You want
this.
it.
I think so. I mean, I think that's, we can work on cleaning up and making it more inclusive.
Amy, you want to please?
Ordinance number 851-2018. An ordinance of the City of Dry Ridge, Grant County, Kentucky, clarifying and indexing prior sanitary sewer system ordinances and increasing the tariff rate and charges assessed for the use of the sanitary sewer system. Each one of those rates that you have on your deed, when we did the calculation, is exactly 5% over. Just for your knowledge, on a residential, it'll go up $1.86. On a non-residential, it'll go up $2.64. And for the 1,000 over 2,000, it will go up 66 cents per thousand. That's for some
I'm sorry, will you say that again? I'm saying it work.
Residential will go up $1.86. Non-residential will be $2.64. And the 1,000 over 2,000 will be 66 cents.
All right, that constitutes first reading of City of Dry Ridge Ordinance 851-2018. Item 2, Brentwood, Redwood, Virginia Square, Harbor Reader complaint. I'm sorry.
Tim, I had a question on that. Was that was just the 5%, that's all we're raising, is it just the 5% that was handed down from Lansing?
Yeah. That was just a 5% increase. That was the recommendation.
Right. The last time we had a sewer increase, we incorporated an operational percentage in there to accommodate motels, things of that sort. And then obviously, the utility side of it's in a shortfall. I was just wondering if that would be something that we wanted to do, when we do this, was add an additional percentage in there to accommodate operational costs.
water study could go. And they have told us then that there could be up to a 10% increase on water. I really hate to throw at everybody an increase that's going to be upwards of 15 to 20%. And not saying that's going to happen, but unfortunately it's a kick in the head.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it 15, 20%,
but in total, because if in October they come back and say, you know what, we're raising your water 10%. Well, that is a 5% here, a 10% on water, which is what they can do in October. Is a 15% increase on a bill. That would be that's my worry. You know, and I understand what you're saying. By all means, I understand. But in the same respect, I don't think it's wise for us to go above and beyond if we're possibly going to end up another 10%. Does that make sense? I mean, I hate to be that way, but
it does. But then again, in my opinion,
it's a catch-22.
In my opinion, it's almost unwise not to accommodate for your operational costs, because we got a possibly 480 rooms coming over here in a motel. That pump station down at Meadowview is going to run considerably more. It's going to cost more to power that. It's going to cost us more to take that sewage to Williamstown. So if we don't have any kind of buffer in our design here to accommodate for that, then we're obviously going to be even deeper in the hole in our utility fund than we already are. Last time I did a rate increase on the sewer, it was a pretty good increase, but again, that came from Williamstown. But we did add a 2% additional operating cost in there. And when we did that, if you look at the numbers on the sewer side, it built up a little bit of funding for catastrophic failure, you may say. And I just think that this will be a good time to do that if we want to do that, or if we even thought about doing that. Because you definitely don't want to have to come back and say, well, we didn't raise it enough, and now we're losing money in the sewer again, and we have to raise it again. I think, in my past experience on rate increases, it's best to do it all at one time.
Well, I don't think it should be put on the backs of the taxpayers because of motels. We can increase the motels. I don't think that should be put on the backs of the ordinary citizen.
They're going to pay a rate increase as well.
Right, you got, just like I said before this council months ago, you got people out on fixed income.
I agree.
And every one of you is going to be on fixed income one of these days.
The rate increase that you see that you're referring to is based on your water usage. That doesn't help us pumping the sewer back to Williamstown with our operational costs.
I agree with you. I'm playing that.
Believe me, that's the last thing I want to do is get this any higher than what we have to, but I was just making you aware of it.
I understand where you're at too, and that's the dilemma that we hang in this at this point, because there's a margin.
In my opinion, in 6 months from now, you're going to be sitting at this exact same table having the same discussion, maybe before 6 months ago.
You can count on them.
So whether you do it now, or whether you do it in 3 months or 6 months.
Which is not going to take so good if you do it now and again then.
But you will be having this discussion sooner than later. So whether or not you want to put it off, see what it does. You want to wait till October to see
I'm just, that's where, that's what I'm saying.
Williamstown's gonna do.
It's a catch-22.
Well, I made the proposal to you all with just the increase that Williamstown passed along, so we weren't throwing anything else to the customer. I certainly understand what Ken's talking about. We have a lot of infrastructure costs right now. We're talking about all this infiltration that's getting into the system, and we're trying to, we're trying to locate what it is. Well, it's gonna take money to fix it. We can find it, but then it's gonna take money to fix it, and we don't have that money to fix it. What we presented here is not going to address the extra money to fix those problems. To your point, if we add an increase, this is the bare minimum we have to have, or we're going to lose money. We can't lose money and keep the service running. If we add money to this for services that we know we're going to have to fix, we're going to have to fix this, then that's it's exactly what you're talking about. People on fixed incomes are seeing a bigger hit. There's no easy answer for this. We don't know what the future lies. Other than we're guaranteed before these contracts are up that we'll see more increases. And we'll be right back, like Kenny said, at this table, probably having the same discussion. The question is do you want to try to build up the funds now to fix some of these problems, to hopefully reduce the cost of shipping the waste back to Williamstown. And that's what the one thing is that we control. Out of everything here, the only thing that we can control is how much rainwater we send back and pay Williamstown to treat at $55 for 2,000 gallons. And that's what we have to find and fix, and that costs money to do it. So, if you want to add another 2% to that, I don't know what that dollar amount comes to. Can you do that math? But I don't think the 2% is going to take us very far. We're going to be back at it again.
So that would put residential at 39.74, so that raises the bottom up 74 cents. Kind of making it
I just 74% per bill on per residential. That would build up in a year's time, just off the top of my head, that's an extra $140,000.
260.
So you bring the 2%, well, the 2%, that money goes away, so if you have to match your next time, you don't do that, you still got to reduce the 2%.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm big enough on that, we can never see it. The rich about 5, but what's that?
93 cents.
So I think it's 8, I mean,
We changed to 849.
849?
Yeah.
You had 850 taken.
That's just the number for that.
Yeah. All right, so I'll make this bigger so everybody can see.
849, right?
Yeah.
I'll make this change on the fly. If you guys wanted to make that change just so you can see what it'll look like. So 39 will go to what?
39.74.
Non-residential will go to
56.59.
and the 1,000 gallon
14.16.
and the per thousand charge
$1.
42. what would happen if you did that. Any discussion on that? Do you want to change this, do you leave it like with the additional 2%? Or do you want to leave it as you had the first reading with just the 5% increase? Change your 849. What's your thoughts?
My thought is the way you want to see what we use transfer feature. That don't hurt it. That's my thought.
I agree with Kenny. I think we ought to wait closer to what we've done, before we jump in there and do something.
Well, I agree with Ken. Something needs to be done.
Well, you
We're
know
gonna
they're
have to
gonna.
do it. But I would be, I just think it would, I don't know how you're gonna explain it to your citizens that
Because like you said, you don't want to do, like, raise something out and then, have to implement another increase.
you're gonna have to.
But, I mean, like I said, we can count on them. Pretty much anything they can do to get more money, they're covered.
If everyone's confident that we're gonna receive that 10% like everybody thinks that we are, worst case scenario, now all of a sudden we're just 8% because we've already increased to 2% here. So I think we're just buying a little insurance there, really. Worst case scenario, we only have to increase at 8% on the water, because water and sewer are combined utility.
I think it's an easier sell to the public at a 5% because we can justify 5%. But that doesn't leave us anything to fix the bigger problem.
Okay.
And I think that's a big uphill. That's a big uphill fight. I don't have a problem, whichever way you guys want to do it, I'm fine. That's just my opinion. I don't get to vote on this, but that's just my opinion. Well, unless you guys tie it. So we've got two versions here. We did a first reading on this, leaving it at the 5%. What's your thoughts? Do you want to hear someone entertain this as a change? Can we do another first reading? Or do we leave it as it was?
So you gamble and leave it the way it is and see what happens in October. That's just my thought. That's just my thought. You all can vote on it, and however it goes, I support it, and we'll go on and get supper somewhere.
Let's put that, let's put that to a vote and see if that carries. Leave it as what was written.
Yeah, well,
This would kind of die. Unless someone motions to make this change.
which would die the additional 1%. Yeah. Well, nobody made that motion. It's just so, we never officially changed.
I would, if we change the numbers, we have to look at that.
Right. That is. Because those are, you could change them there.
Just so it was clear what we were looking at.
As I say right now, we think we want to
All right, so I'll call for a motion to do a motion to accept these changes and have a new first reading. at the additional, at the 5% plus the additional 2. What is, it would be 7% as what is presented on the screen.
I'm gonna make a motion.
I'm sorry?
I'll make a motion that we implement the change
Okay, and add the additional 2%. Okay. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second.
All right. Can I have a roll call on that vote? Is there any further discussion? Would anyone like to make a comment? If not, can I call for the vote?
Ron? Clay? Kenny? Jim?
Yes.
Larissa? Yes. Sarah?
You guys did that already. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at the 5% because it's easy to justify that. I know we have a problem, and we'll come up with but I vote no. Motion failed. All right.
Well, we sent a letter out, that was mine.
Okay, new business item number 2, Brentwood, Redwood, and Virginia Court, water reading complaints. Amy?
I just wanted to bring to your attention a few things. There's been several things circulating out on social media in regards to some water readings in Brentwood and Virginia Court. So I know you guys get hit with this stuff a lot. I did a comparison. We have one customer who is going around to all of his residents, coming here complaining, stating that all of his neighbors' bills have all went up $100 this month. That is an inaccurate statement. I have factual documentation to prove that. This citizen also had a commode that is leaking that refuses to accept could cause his water rate, and they also posted that the wife was home on maternity leave and the whole family was home. So they don't believe that the usage is their calls that the city has an issue. They have a neighbor across the street who is saying the same thing, that the city has a problem because his bill last month went up, yet it went back down now, but that is our issue. We have a citizen on Virginia Court who is saying that their rate, their usages went up because they're having to pay for their neighbor across the street who had a leak in their line going to their home. So the dates do not even correspond. The usage on the Virginia Court bill doesn't even correspond with the leak found. So I just wanted to let you all know that I did go through and look at all of those bills for the last 6 months for that subdivision to see if there was anything out of the ordinary and so forth, and there is not. Everybody's bill did not go up $100 at what is being circulated out there for you. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. I know you guys get hit a lot out in public and also on social media with those kind of comments, that I wanted you to know that I did look into it and those statements are false.
Nobody realizes how much the commode leaks.
They don't. They do not. And they continually come up and tell me that it's our problem.
Mine was leaking and I used 2,000 gallon more in 1 month.
Yeah, it can go up very quickly. Yes, sir. Well, and he stated that there was water, streams coming in bolts, but he still insists that that did not contribute to the usage. His bill from last month to this month went up $32, and he's telling everybody it went up $100. The month before, it did go up $50 from the previous month. So if you look at this billing to the one before, it is 80-something dollars. But there's just a lot of things going on, but stirring up trouble, let's just say, going to neighbors and doing things. So I'm assuming that some of you will be questions.
It's like that game of you tell, like somebody starts and you tell somebody a secret, and then you go all the way around, and by the time it gets back around, it's a whole other story. That's how this is, because somebody can hear, you know, water leak problem with the city law, and then everybody's like, oh, you know, we have $100 too, oh my God.
So I just wanted to let you guys know. I did look at it. I do have the data, but that shows that I've been accurate. But it's good.
Well, thank you. Hopefully none of those complaints go past this. All right, Brent?
It's going to be a zone change map amendment. It is on with the county planning commission for a special meeting next week. So I was hoping we go ahead and do the first reading, changing the property at 31 North Main from central business to residential 1B. As far as I'm aware, that has never been business, it's always been a residence. And the realtor actually came to us and was asking us about it because they have someone going to purchase it, but the insurance company won't sign off unless they can rebuild a residence there.
Can you classify where this house is?
It is right on the corner of North Main and Warsaw Avenue, with the pool's in the front yard, right across from the lighthouse in the back.
The one with the pool in the back / side yard.
That's the
/ front, yeah, gonna hang in front.
So, the reason I told him I would bring this to you all because I think there's a classification on our end of an error. It's always been a residence. I think one of the deeds I found it was 1920. It's always been a house, so this would be classified as central business just so they can continue on north. But with the map of the church being central business and the businesses around it, instead of continuing on, it just affects this one property, which the backside of it goes back up to the church, which is in residential zone.
Any questions on this? If so, Brent can try to answer those for you. But this is on the agenda for planning and zoning.
Next Monday, especially.
Next Monday. Okay. So you asking for first reading on this?
Yes.
Any of you with this?
Ordinance number 850, 2018, an ordinance of the city of Dry Ridge, Grant County, Kentucky, amending the official zoning map of the city of Dry Ridge, so changing the zoning classification of a boundary of land containing approximately 0.63 acres within the incorporated limits of the city of Dry Ridge, Grant County, Kentucky. Here therefore, zone central business district under zoning ordinance official number 380-1982 to the city of Dry Ridge residential 1B under zoning ordinance official number 692-2006.
That constitute first reading of ordinance 850, 2018. All right, we've got a field trip now.
Thank you, paying for it.
It's just for what we do, what we pay the same.
All right, so we won't adjourn. We'll just go straight out there and then we'll come back.
Change it on the official map.
So we can talk about it.
We changed this to the record.
Everybody's invited. Obviously, the public is invited. Takes a vote.
I know what it looks like, I've been in it.
Rick never has seen it yet.
That whole day today.
I know, but it's the.
It's still up to me, my suggestion.
I know, if I only read 2, then I'm okay, because then I have, I can't have a quorum.
My son-in-law found a driver's license out there in my tenant's yard, and I never heard of her. So maybe you might know her and do something with it, I don't know.
All right, just like Friday.
I don't know what to do. He's laying in the edge of the ditch there.
Or somebody stole somebody's wallet, threw it out, man.
I'd say it was. I'd say they got another one now, when you
Yeah, the thing is,
I don't want you to think that I'm.
ain't you yet.
I want you to understand.
I never heard of her.
Where I was at.
I'll see if I can find it.
Hey, good or sort of. Whatever you need to do, chief.
What are you doing, Tom?
Not much. One more time.
I know that's what it is. I mean, it's something else. You know, you don't understand it. I mean, if it does, we're right. So, Mr. Kells.
What are you doing?
Same old thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha. What you talking about, bud?
Well, like I said, I don't want anything to know. You know. But yeah, what the hell ever. That's, there's something wrong with that, you know it.
Make those man decisions.
I don't know,
What do you know? Did you do something in Norwood or something? Somebody's called raising guns and hell today. This is somebody wanting some reports about something you did up there. Somebody got arrested or something, and they called Williamstown. Williamstown called me and said it was your deal. Yeah. Bunch of dope on somebody or something. No, she didn't say. She called, the manager called, she gave me her cell phone number. I'm going to stick it back here on my desk on the keyboard. She said call as soon as you get in. Honest. I don't know what she's talking about. I have no idea. If you can, just also leave those 2 reports on my desk too for grand jury Wednesday. Need them some. Oh boy. I don't even want to go that son of a bitch. I thought we were putting that. Is that what they said in the thing? That they wanted officers to present their own cases? I guess you're, like I said, you're still on double probation, I guess. So, alright. Yeah, just leave them there and call that lady tonight. That's all you gotta do. No, he's off with it. What do you need? Oh, I don't know about that. I can get in there if you know where it's at. Okay. Well, come here and, are you headed up this way? And I'll unlock this thing for you. I'm here. Okay. Ken! Don't worry about it, Ken. Now it breaks. We got no money to fix it. Perfect. I had that one.
Yeah, boy. And you do it through ball.
It's you, Julie.
That's personal.
You're the one playing with it. Tossing around.
I left my
You
ball
was.
on Jimmy's desk.
It was nice. It was
It was nice.
You'll probably get the last laugh here in the 1st of November. We'll see.
Them son of bitches ain't gonna pass up a
I'll give
10%
you just gonna
chance.
sign the top page, yeah, and the rest is.
If it's in the writing, you think they're gonna, they never give us nothing yet, but you think they're gonna start now?
Thank you.
You got much.
That is smart.
Let's put it in minutes. Not actions suggested, actions proposed. Not suggested.
That's Brian Marshall
You know what?
here, and then he's like,
Remember Judy used to send them there everything all the time?
Junior Edges?
Judy.
Oh, you should have been here with Junior Edges.
Is the minutes on it right? Every meeting. They're not right. So you say, well, what's wrong with them? That's just not right. Every meeting, it's like, so I'm gonna go to Robert's comment.
Yeah.
And I had it, you have to have that is what.
Yeah, like we said,
I
yeah.
had it,
It's not a play-by-play.
I had that, I brought it all, you did bring up.
Yep, you can leave that.
Man hired on the paramedic or something. How many meetings I was in? Something about spending money. Of course, it was a square table. If he get mad, throw his papers in there, I'm quit. You get up, have meetings,
All right, so, does anybody have any other questions about that?
I've got a question,
Yes.
not about that. My question is, the more I think about it, it's concerning me is this lack of a paramedic. And if you're if you got a broken arm, it'd be fine to go up there to Williamstown. But if you're having a heart attack, and time is critical, and you've got to go up there and then be redispatched somewhere else, that's scary.
Right.
I mean, you don't have a whole lot of time on a heart attack or something, here you're riding around.
Well, that's why it's so important, why I push so hard for us to be able to keep our resources here in the city and not have to send our paramedic to Crittenden or into Williamstown. If we're going to do that, compensate us for it so we can put another medic here or do something different. But that's the reason why that has been.
There needs to be a paramedic backup here. Me and Mr. Weather were just talking about it out there a while ago. I mean, like I said, if you break an ankle, break an arm or something, that's all fine and dandy to run up here at Williamstown.
Right.
But if you're having a heart attack, you haven't got time to dilly-dally around here and run up there for them to look at you and then call you off somewhere else. And
Let me show you something. I'm going to put something up on the screen here.
Gary, just to let you know, they don't fix broken arms at Trent County.
well, what I
I
use that as
know, I'm just saying.
Okay.
They do that.
Yeah.
No, they send you downtown for that, too.
We went there.
Well, they may do that too.
But you have to set.
I'm just letting you know,
You may have to sit and wait 7 or 8 hours too.
Yes, we did.
I was just using that as an illustration of the severity,
understand. I'm
the
just saying.
severity between breaking your arm and having a heart
I
attack.
understand.
I want to go where they can work on hearts, you know.
I understand.
Let me show you how this works, because you were just talking about that.
I'll go to a veterinarian for a
Hey, he's
broken arm.
talking to you.
Remember when we were talking, Mr. Whaley was asking the chief, and Rodney said that we have one paramedic in the
Right.
county, and he's back here right now.
Right.
Well, I don't know if you remember hearing his radio go crazy. Well, when his radio went crazy, it was for that overdose on Jillian Drive. If you'll look to the right, see where it says 1835? Well, that's military time for 6:35. Okay? That was when that started going crazy. So that took our one paramedic out of the city limits and sent him out into the county for Jillian Drive. It's a trailer court up in Sherman. Okay? And then if you'll look at that, 9 minutes later, we got another run for 275 McCoy Road. Where's McCoy? It's in the city limits. We didn't have a paramedic to send to that allergic reaction in the city. That's a prime example of what happens all the time.
Okay.
So our paramedic, the only medic that we had, was then tied up on that drug overdose outside the city, and the taxpayers that live in the city didn't get the service of having a paramedic available. That's, I mean, I can't make any more.
Yeah, no, that's
of
pretty
an
well, that
example
pretty well
of
lays
what
the
just
cards on the
happened.
table.
All right. All right. Anybody have anything else? Motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor? All right.
Don't anybody have a heart attack.